All right, welcome back to Real Estate Geniuses. My name is Franklin Cruz. I'm a true investor and a true developer, founder of trueinvestors.com. My projects have been on the front page of the newspaper before on my developments. That's me when I had a beard. I just recently shaved it off. My brother said that I went from Osama to Obama. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I've been in real estate now for the last 20 years. I've been a full-time developer as well for the last 5 years. So I make these podcasts so I can truly educate on exactly what is happening in the trenches in real estate development and give you what I call true investor and true developer education from here in the trenches in the ground, right? So like news press, here we go. So today we're going to be hitting the topic of Grant Cardone, Elon Musk, and the science of raising capital and what are the differences. So these guys to me have mastered raising capital, but their strategies is interesting. So they have very different strategies and they impact it very differently. So I'm going to dig into it in more detail. So Grant Cardone sells more of a lifestyle to people. At least all this isn't just in my opinion, right? And so Grant Cardone sells more of a lifestyle to invest in his projects. Elon Musk builds a prototype and proves it works, and then he gets funding for it, right? So who's doing it right? And more importantly, how can you apply these strategies to your real estate business like right now? And I'm going to break it down for you as well. So kind of in my military format. So the key points is this. Number one, here's Grant Cardone's raising money business model, at least from my view of it outside looking in, right? And I've done some homework. So everything I've done, I've really put some effort to make sure you guys getting good quality research behind it. So Grant Cardone's apartment strategy, the way it works, but again, not for everyone. First of all, I want to give him huge respect. He is great at raising capital, and raising capital is a hard business to be on, and he does it very well. His business model explained, it goes kind of like this. So he has a piece of property. He showcases you the dream, and he showcases that he is the dream, right? Meaning helicopters, $500,000 watches, very luxury lifestyle. So he says, hey, if I could do it at 60 something years old, then you could do it too, right? And he's always been an amazing salesperson as well, right? So he's got that gift, which is fantastic. And so he has the multiple streams whenever he uses capital to purchase an apartment building. The reason why he likes apartment building is it's one of the largest items that you could buy with that amount of capital at that asset class. So everything is what they call an asset class when you get into the development world. Single family is an asset class. Apartments are asset class. Duplex, asset class. Commercial, asset class. Industrial buildings, asset class, right? So when he gets you to actually buy the property and he uses your funds to do so, he automatically takes out what they call a developer fee, a capital raise fee, or wholesaling style margins in the acquisition fee, right? So basically, he makes a rip off of 3 different aspects of it. And so you can look this up. The guy named Meet Kevin, if you go to Meet Kevin YouTube channel, amazing YouTube channel, he does amazing research, and I'm talking through it, but you're more than welcome to actually like dig into this. And so you find the developer, he makes, in other words, you could hide the terminology on whatever kind of fee arrangement that you want it to be called, but this is how I look at it. He makes a developer fee, right? That could be anywhere from 1% to 5%, right? He makes a capital raise fee. That could be anywhere from 1% to 5% a year, okay? Then he makes a managing your capital fee as well on the asset. And then he'll buy the property, he'll buy the apartment building through one pool of funds and sell it to his other entity, and the difference goes to him, right? Now, does he disclaim that, or this disclaimer, does he let you know that's his business model? Hell no, because it sounds horrible, right? So for myself, it's all about framing it. So for myself, whenever I do a development deal, right, I'm sharing with my investors, hey, I'm going to make a developer fee, right? So like I'm making a developer fee in X, it's going to be a percentage, but I'm creating the entire deal. I found the deal directly from the seller, not an organization. I found the deal. It is a deal. This is the possible income. This is what the possible sales price is. I already found the buyer. Here's the LOI, a legitimate buyer. And this is what we need to do. And this is the capital raise. You want in or not? That's it. So, and then I say, hey, a part of that is the developer fee and I want a percentage of the deal. So let's say I may say, hey, I'm 50% into the deal, but I did all this work, or I'm 75% of the deal and you get 25% and I did all this work. Or it could be a lower percentage because I didn't have to do all the work. So if I'm coming into a deal and I'm literally negotiating the terms, finding, creating the picture of the deal, right? Creating the terms of the deal with the seller, then finding the seller, then doing all the legal aspect, working back and forth with the attorneys, going through the entire approvals and entitlements, and then working out the best contracts I can with our subcontractors, bringing down the cost, maximizing the profitability, but then still making a great impact within the community. Yeah, that's my fee. It is what it is. It's not like I didn't earn it. And I don't personally take anything I don't earn. So that's how I look at it. Why his business model doesn't work for a lot of people, what comes up is it's not realistic that you can buy apartment buildings. Like, it's just not. The everyday person, to me, that's not a realistic thing. Look, I've been doing business for 20 plus years, and the apartment buildings I ever bought, I sold them very quickly because that wasn't my field. It's not something that, first of all, that you can even understand on how to raise capital overnight. Because if you truly are not a master within your business, you should not be taking people's capital. That is not the right thing to do, period. Now, because you can start at a different starting point. When it comes to me, I believe that first get your own financial stuff situated. Because if you can't even manage your own financials, how the hell are you going to manage millions of dollars? Like, that shit is not going to happen. So then the other aspect of it is looking at it from, you start off at single family homes. Master how to have a conversation with a seller. Master actually how to have a contract written out. Master a simple way of actually doing a contract. Master how to manage a crew. Master how to do construction. Master the little things and you're going to have a great life. Master the single family play. Go into the duplex play. Then after you do that, you could go into the new build play, right? Build one house, build a duplex, build a triplex. Like, go into this, but don't look at it like I got to speed through it. Look at it like I truly need to be a master within that field, period. Now, a different approach, a better approach to me, again, from a beginner standpoint, or even if you're in the middle, is focus on owning 5 to 10 good single family homes or duplex deals first. Have true financial freedom and build those in stages. But don't chase the $1 billion deals when, dude, you don't even know how to, you're in debt. You don't even have a budget for your own life. How the hell are you going to manage something else? Like, dude, just stop being unrealistic. Like, stop. I'm 45 years old. To me, I look at it like a very different perspective now, because it's not about the chase. It's about the journey. It's not about like, oh my God, I need it right now. What do you need? Like, think about it. What do you need? Do you need what? Okay, look, if you live in America right now, we got it made. If you don't live in America, man, you got to try this thing out, man. This is awesome. Like, at the end of the day, do I have food? Do I have shelter? And then if I have shelter, do I have AC? I say that because there was a time in my life I lived without AC, and that sucked, right? So do you have AC? Do you have comfort? Do you have food? If you don't have food, go get some rotisserie chickens, man. You'll be fine. Get some rice and rotisserie. Japanese people have been living off of that for the whole life, and they're number one for living the longevity, okay, within the entire country, in the entire world, right? Like, get your basics down and then approach something different. But get the basics down. Everybody wants to skip from, they'll look at what I know on the development side, and they're like, well, I want to get there. And I was like, okay, crew. I love teaching and mentoring, right? But there's an aspect that you got to do one thing at a time. You don't come out the womb running. You actually come out the womb what? Wobbling like a blob. Like, if you ever had kids, you have two boys, or two grown men now, 16 and 23. So how does a baby come out? They don't even wobble. They just are there. Right? So like, that's it, right? And then they wobble, and then they go from wobble to crawl, and then that's when your brain freaks out. And then they go from crawl to walking, and that's really when you freak out. And then walking to running, that's really when you freak out. And then they do all this without your assistance, right? But people forget sometimes it's staying still and wobbling, and you don't even know how to wobble, right? So these are different approaches, and again, different stages. So let's go into Elon Musk's stage. So Elon Musk's approach is, how do you actually dominate an industry? So how he dominates an industry, and say what you want about the political side. To me, I think it's pretty silly when people jump into that. So I'm not going to jump into the political side. I'm huge into factual items, and are you making a difference in the world? Look, there is about, and for a pure example of when people get into political side and they start judging people, number one, don't have judgment or assumptions with people. That's how I look at it. Number two, if you really want to start going in that judgmental route, there's a lot of items. For example, the Oxford Dictionary, 3% of it, and okay, 3% of the Oxford Dictionary, the language that you speak, the language that we're speaking, right, and the dictionary and the meanings behind certain words was created by a crazy doctor in an insane asylum that killed somebody else and was in an insane asylum because he was literally crazy, but he was a genius when it came to words. And he was a doctor. He was an army doctor. You can look this up. Mel Gibson and Sean Penn made a movie about it. I forget. It was called Something in the Madman. So anyway, let's go back to Elon. So Elon, his approach is build a prototype first, show proof before raising money. So build something 10 times better than anybody else. If there's old entrenched competitions, like for me, I'm in the housing. And I'm in the development side, right? So I know KB Homes, DR Horton, Southern Homes, like they are building. So within building something, they build everything pretty much the exact same. There is no at scale modern home builders starter homes. There is none at scale, right? So I know there's an outlet I could possibly jump in. I also know there's no true education companies when it comes to education for people jumping into real estate that truly has a very structured way from how to talk to a seller with great training, going all the way through the land development side. There is no true laid out structure within the entire interwebs, right? A lot of them are talking heads that are just, talking about one specific thing, and that's it, but not from the start of being a nobody to somebody and living financially free. So his terminology or his thought process is you have to be 10 times better than anybody else. So 10 times better than anybody else, but at the same price, or give it away. So, for example, SpaceX, which controls 90% of the space launches in the world, he's outperforming government agencies. And the main reason why is he solved a hard-ass problem that nobody can solve. And it took a super genius with capital to figure it out. And he almost lost all his capital. There's an old saying, how does the super rich become rich in the rocket industry? I just said it. How does the super rich become rich? Meaning they lose a lot of money, right? Because nobody figured it out. He figured it out. So now 90% of all the space launches goes to him. And it's strategically a very smart thing for America in itself to keep hiring him. Why is that? Because if you ever go to war, which I've been there, and here's rule of thumb, if you ever go to war and you're fighting in a firefight, high ground is normally superior. So whoever has the high ground normally is superior to whoever has the low ground. So your goal is high ground. What is space? The highest damn ground that you can get is space. So if you own space, that's the high ground. All other countries will be like, all right, we got to chill. We got to chill. They've got the high ground, right? Does that make sense? So strategically, you want the high ground. That is the best place to be. So if Elon and SpaceX has the high ground, that's good for us. So stop if you got an issue with him politically. I'm not going there on the political side, but seriously, use your brain and just think about that for a second. Again, in a war atmosphere or a conflict atmosphere, if you're in a firefight, high ground normally wins, right? Superior weaponry wins as well, but high ground is step one. Like if I got superior weaponry and I got high grounds, like Mufasa is gone. right? That's just how it's going to happen. So anyway, let's keep on going. So next one, Alex Hormozi's alternative approach to wealth, which I like Alex Hormozi's side. I'm going to throw him in here. I've been studying him for a while. Like, I love what he says. About 90% of what he says, I'm right on. About 10%, I'm like, okay. But it's all good. So the other thing is, I love what he says about being debt-free, hold cash reserves, and you want to strike when the market is weak. And I love what he says about you don't want to just, if you're in a competitive moat, you want to keep building your tower that you block out the sun to your competitors. Why do you think now for Real Estate Geniuses podcast and trueinvestors.com, I'm going all in? Because I know nobody did what I did. Meaning, I took 5.5 years of my life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, legit, sleeping at the office, legit, till this day sleeping at the office, to make sure that when I push something out, I know what I'm talking about because I've done it. I'm boots on the ground, right? I even grew a beard for it, right? It's like I made it happen. So now I want to share that approach because I know other people didn't do that. So real quick, quick little break. Just want to give you a heads up as well. So if you want to learn more about raising capital the right way in real estate, the true way, or you're a property seller, you want to sell your property, or you want to learn how to be a true investor to true developer, go to trueinvestors.com. Boom. Yes, we own it. Yes. So go to trueinvestors.com, check out what we've got. There's a lot of free stuff there as well. And we can see if you actually qualify that we could purchase your home or if you could qualify for our programs as well and our mentorship. All right, let's keep on going on. So which capital raising strategy is right for you? Look, there's Grant Cardone's method, which is great. It's speed, but requires constant sales as well. There's Elon Musk, which I love as well, which is the method is about undeniable proof, long-term impact, and just FYI, zero marketing dollars. Zero. What I learned as well, like on our property on 720 and 716 residencies, which is won awards right now. And this is actually the front page of the newspaper. If you look at it, that was when we were building these properties. I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of everything in this property. And then what I learned within this is that if you put your time into making an amazing product, that product it will for decades, just like a Frank Lloyd Wright structure, centuries, still be something that people look at and admire. So then there's Alex Hormozi as well, which is be patient and strike fast too. Build up your capital reserves and strategically strike and be singular focus, which I love that as well. So to me, the smartest capital strategy for investors, if you're starting out, focus in on first education, mentorship if you can, proper training, and do the thing, right? Single family home deals, low risk, high reward. Start getting out there. Start doing it, right? Go to trueinvestors.com if you can. We've got some great resources there as well. Once you understand the game, you could raise capital, but only if you know the game. But if you don't understand how to make offers face-to-face with sellers, like you really have to understand face-to-face transaction now over the phone. The main reason why is over 20% of my deals, over 100% of my deals are always face-to-face. 20% of the deals turns into a land development deal because I had the conversation with the seller, or multiple deals because the seller had more deals than just one. Okay, that's 20% of the time. Then the other key is when you're raising capital, you're not just raising capital, but you need to know how to deploy it efficiently. If you do not have your own life in order and you don't even have a structure for your own life on how to actually like manage your own money, trust me, never touch anybody else's money, because it's not just going to be magically, oh my God, I know how to manage capital now. No, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you can't be egoless in one aspect, you're not going to just automatically be egoless in another aspect. It doesn't work that way, okay? So how you do one thing is how you do everything. Remember that aspect. So at the end of the day, raising capital is about trust, proof, and vision. So if you want to learn more about real estate investing, real estate development, and get right to work, or if you're a seller and you have a property that you want to sell, go to trueinvestors.com. Again, my name is Franklin Cruz, military veteran, real estate developer, true investor, and we'll see you on the next episode. All right, bye.